Okay, so I've unmuted myself. So good morning, District 5160. It's exciting to see everybody here and for yet another opportunity for us to learn about the district and global grants process. I want to thank the team who put this together. They've really done a really good job with Mark and Heather as the herders. And I really appreciate it. I think we have a lot of really good material to cover today. And I'm really excited to hear about all the projects we're going to hear about and all the good work that everybody's doing. So with that, we have 100 Rotarians on the line right now. So that's really exciting. And with that, I will turn it over to our current District Rotary Foundation Chair, past District Governor John Dwyer.
Morning, gang. Just want to take a quick opportunity. As some of you know, the position of district, district committee, foundation committee chair is a 3-year assignment. And I started in July of 2020. And as of June 30th this year, my 3-year gig is up. And I will be turning it over to past District Governor Mark Roberts. When I took this job on from Carl Diekman, all I said to Carl was, do me 2 favors. Number one, don't change your email and don't change your phone number. And Carl was great about that. And as a result, I leaned on him a lot because there's as much as you think you know about this job, you'd learn it on the hard end. Mark and I spent quite a bit of time together going through a lot of the stuff, and I'm 99% sure that there's a whole bunch of stuff that I've forgotten to talk to him about, but we'll learn as we go. And I promise Mark, I won't change my phone number or emails as well. So it's been a good ride. I'm still involved with anything up until the 30th of June. I will not be involved other than as an advisor with the district grant process this year, because that will be 23-24. We still have global grants going on, or global grants applications, but other than that, I'm working. I'm copying Mark. His email is, if he thinks his email is full now, wait till I keep copying him on everything. So anyway, been a great 3 years. The foundation done some great stuff. We've had a couple of excellent years last year, and this year as is promising. We've had. It's worth mentioning, we had a $50,000 gift to the foundation in December, and we just had a $100,000 gift to the foundation, 70 of which goes to the annual fund share and the 30 to Polio Plus. And so we're going to have a good year this year, and looking forward to Dan and Joy having a lot more money for district grants. With that, Mark, it's all yours, bud.
John, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Good morning, everyone. John, let me just thank you on behalf of the district for the tremendous job you have done as District Rotary Foundation Committee Chair for the past 2.5+ years. And as you said, I've still got a lot to learn from you. So, don't go anywhere, not just for the 6 months, but after that, because you really have learned the grant process inside and out. And there's a lot more for me to learn. So I'm glad we live only about 10 minutes apart. Because we will be meeting a lot in person, on the phone via Zoom, because I want to be up to speed, on July 1st and continue to rely on you as a great advisor as we go forward. Again, this morning, everyone, we are talking about the Rotary Foundation is a give and get type of organization, and we're going to be focusing on the get part of the Rotary Foundation during today's presentation. And I'm very grateful to all the presenters for what they're contributing to this, because I'm hoping it will give you a really good idea, not just about how to apply for grants, but also just getting a great idea of the incredible projects that these grants support. You'll be seeing examples of several local, district, shall we say, community grants here from clubs in District 5160, but also several great international projects that have been created and supported by districts and by clubs in our district. So I hope you will enjoy that, because what we're trying to do is inspire you to think big. We always have to look back at Polio Plus, which is now something that's been going on in Rotary for roughly 40 years, and the impact that has had on people around the world, billions of people, millions of lives saved. That idea came from one Rotarian in the Philippines who thought, hey, we can do this. We can eradicate polio in our country. He had brought it to the board of directors of Rotary. They agreed, and Polio Plus grew from there. So the greatest ideas come from individual Rotarians and clubs. So, don't be afraid to think big. And that's why the grants are here to support you, whether it's a district grant to help with a local project or a global grant to help with a project that you are supporting with another Rotary club around the world. So we'll be looking more at the giving part at some point in the near future. But again, we're talking about the get part of the Rotary Foundation during this presentation. So what I would like to do at this point is showcase the first, shall we say, local district project that I think is just fabulous. And to really give us the information about this, we have the Vocational Service Director, Sonny Ventimiglia, and the Program Chair, Melissa Crick, from the Rotary Club of Paradise.
All right, well, good morning. I'm Sonny Ventimiglia, Commercial Banking.
And I'm Melissa Crick with Vocational Educational Services.
And we're very happy to be here with you today. If you want to go ahead and go to the first slide, we can get started. All right, so the committee really came together with a common vision to basically be a bridge and create a space for both the private sector and the educational sector to come together and focus on the efforts of vocation. Really creating opportunities to give pathways for students to be able to get access to the different job opportunities and industries that are available in our local markets. So essentially, we brought together a culmination of all the different schools. This includes the charter and the public schools, as well as home schools, and everyone in our community on the education side, as well as the nonprofit organizations that focus on business advocacy, as well as some government entities that focus, like the Small Business Development Center in the town of Paradise, as well as some private industries such as local business owners and some of the organizations that support those efforts. And we got together and we really created a common goal. Our goal, and if I can move this, a little hard to read. Okay, our goal is to inspire local workforce and students to see the career potential on the Ridge and Butte County while helping support a thriving business community in our area. We do this through promoting and facilitating activities and programs that will give students access to different career potentials and the skills needed for employment while interacting with the business community to ensure focused effort in developing the skills employers need in today's market. All right, if you want to go ahead and go to the next slide, if you could. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Melissa to talk a little bit about our Career Expo and our job fair.
And if we want to play that video just real quickly, I'm hoping we have enough time. I think that's the next slide. Perfect. This is our first annual Career Expo. And the intention with this expo was we invited 5th through 12th graders Ridge-wide, again, homeschool students, charter students, public school students, everybody on the Ridge. And our intention is to year after year expose them to opportunities right here on the Ridge so that they can develop those areas of interest. I think we're going to try to get that to play.
The committee came together when we started looking around and talking about the pipeline between education and workforce development, especially here on the Ridge as we're rebuilding. We noticed that there's been a lot of talk about going straight into a four-year college, and there's a lot
that it may not play, so we can just link
of great opportunities there, but there's so many other opportunities that students aren't necessarily aware of. Our hope is that students leave here today with their eyes open to the different opportunities that they may not have thought of before.
We've invited every 5th grader through 12th grader on the Ridge. We have a fantastic.
Yeah, we're having some issues, it looks like, with the access. So go to our website. It's paradisevocations.org, and you'll be able to see this information. And if you want to go back to that previous slide, if you could.
We'll link the video and the website in the chat. So the intention here again is this is 5th through 12th graders. They'll participate in this expo year after year. They'll develop those areas of interest and really make those connections with local employers and institutes of education. And when they hit that 11th grade year, they'll be eligible for our second annual event, which will be our job fair. So 11th and 12th graders district-wide will participate in the public job fair. having access to higher education opportunities, community employment opportunities, readily available positions, internships, and so much more. And then with that job fair, we're also hosting the community at large. So we'll have, again, readily available employment opportunities, higher education opportunities. We have all of our local construction trades and unions that are participating and offering opportunities to the community as a whole. So we're really excited about what's happening here in Paradise, and we'd love to share more with you. You can reach out to us again, paradisevocations.org. You can find Sunday and I on DocDB. We're happy to answer questions, and we'd love to see this happen in every community because it's such important work.
Lastly, just kind of talking, looking ahead into the future, these activities are really the first step. And if you only have an event and you don't follow it through with consistent, predictable opportunities for these kids, it's really hard to make it actionable. So one of the things that we're doing is we're going to be creating a youth group. And that youth group is going to be focusing on everything from ethics to actually getting hands-on experience with the different skill sets throughout the Rotary world and also our vendors. So I've got a 15-second timer here. This is really just a very quick trailer of what we're doing. I encourage you to go to our website, take a look at that. And if you ever want us to come back and spend more time talking about it, we're certainly happy to do so.
Yeah, definitely watch the video. It's incredible.
Sunny and Melissa, thanks so much. I just can't help but think back, more than 4 years ago, the campfire occurred in Paradise, and what you and the members of the Paradise Rotary Club and the Paradise community have done is really, really inspiring. I hate to borrow a term from a certain president, but you are indeed building back better. And the Rotary Club up there has so much to be proud of, and you just really inspire us. So thank you very much.
Thank
you for having us today.
It's now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, our presenter. Arnie Gustafson is the current Grants Review Program Chair. Now, these are the folks who review all of the grant applications coming from Rotary clubs and work, not just review them, but work with the clubs to refine those applications and really do everything possible to make it possible for a grant to be granted to your club for a particular project. Arnie is also he was also the district conference chair during 2021, the virtual district conference, and he was the 2021 District Rotarian of the Year. From the Rotary Club of Orland, please welcome Arnie Gustafson.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning, everybody. Here, let me see if I can do this. Good
morning. I'm Arnie Gustafson, and I am the Grant Committee Chair for 2022-23. My role is to provide guidance to grant applicants and act as the liaison between the Grant Review Committee and the grant applicants. Today, I'm going to provide some tips to help you prepare and submit a successful grant. District 5160 has a grant policy document that is updated annually. The document can be found on the district website. This year, there were relatively minor changes made to the policy document. First, we are going to request some additional information on grants that use District Grant DDF for projects located outside the district. More on that later. Second, we are developing criteria for district grants initiated by Rotaract clubs. Finally, we have set the application due dates to avoid conflicts with the Memorial Day and 4th of July holidays. The term DDF refers to district designated funds. DDF refers to district grant projects, and DDF refers to global grant projects. As you may know, club contributions to the Rotary Foundation Annual Fund are returned to the district after 3 years. Half of these funds go to global grant matches and half of them go to district grant matches. Contributions to other parts of the foundation, including the World Fund or Polio Plus, are not returned to the district. We estimate that there will be roughly $177,000 available for DDF in 2023-24. Let's talk a little bit about district grants. District grants are most commonly used for projects in our District 5160 communities. Some examples include park improvements, the purchase of equipment for schools or other organizations, or projects supporting community activities. You can look at the district grant archives on the district website if you would like to see some examples. In addition to community projects, district grants can be used for attendance at project fairs. Project fairs are held at locations around the world and allow host clubs to promote projects to international partners. District grants can also be used for community assessments. Community assessments are required for all global grants, but they cannot be funded by global grant funds. District grants can also be used for projects outside of the United States. The last couple of years, there has been an increase in these types of grants. In some cases, the size of these international projects has approached the $30,000 threshold that allows a project to qualify for global grant funds. If you submit a district grant application for a project outside of the U.S., you will be asked to justify why it cannot be developed within the global grant criteria. The Grant Review Panel wants you to know that district grant funds are not intended to be a substitute or a workaround to avoid the global grant process. The Rotary Foundation has a terms and conditions document that explains in great detail how district grant funds can be used. This slide has a link where you can access that document. We strongly suggest that you read it. This slide shows the critical dates for the district grant application process. Draft applications are due on May 24th, and final applications are due on June 24th. Late applications will not be accepted. The Grant Review Panel will review the draft applications and provide comments and feedback to grant applicants. The questions must be answered in a Word document from the originating club, and changes must be reflected in your final application. You must submit a draft application. And you must answer the Grant Review Panel questions in order to be eligible for a district grant. The Grant Review Panel meets in mid-July to award grant funds. The approved grants are sent to the Rotary Foundation, and the Foundation issues the funds in a single, block grant. Clubs are notified following approval from the Rotary Foundation, and checks are issued, usually in August or early September. Remember, you may not expend project funds, including club funds, before being notified of Rotary Foundation approval. There are several qualification criteria that must be met in order for your grant application to be considered for funding. These criteria are summarized on this slide. If the application meets all of the qualification criteria, then the Grant Review Panel will use the evaluation criteria to rank and select projects for grant funding. This slide lists the formal criteria that are used by the Grant Review Panel to evaluate district grants. Some of the intangibles that may influence panel members include involvement of multiple clubs or other community organizations, and Rotary Club involvement in the project. In other words, putting in labor, not just dollars. A compelling grant equals grant funding. Use the grant application to tell a story about why you selected this project and what it will do to help your community. Provide as much detail as possible, including project history and photos. And remember, you must respond to the review panel questions. While it is not complicated to submit a district grant application, there are 3 common mistakes that clubs make, and which may disqualify their application. First, grant funds cannot reimburse funds that have already been spent, or funding obligations that have already been made. Second, all costs must be paid directly from the grant bank account. You cannot make a donation that another organization uses to purchase goods, services, or equipment. Finally, grant funds cannot be used to fund ongoing operating expenses of another organization. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me for guidance. And please, read the Rotary Foundation terms and conditions for district grants. This slide summarizes the funding limits for district grants. One club may get an award of up to $10,000. If an additional club contributes $500 or more, the total award may be as much as $15,000. Every dollar in DDF must be matched by at least 50 cents in other funds. These other funds can come from any source, including other organizations or individuals. Finally, up to $5,000 may be awarded for community assessments, and up to $2,500 may be awarded for attendance at project fairs. District grant funds have been oversubscribed the past 2 or 3 years. When this happens, the Grant Review Panel must make difficult decisions on how to allocate funds. Basically, they have 2 choices. They either must reject individual grants or reduce the amount of individual grants. The Grant Review Panel believes the clubs are in the best position to know how to complete their grants with reduced funds. Therefore, the application asks by how much your grant request can be reduced and still be able to complete a successful project. You must answer this question. And remember, a compelling and complete grant application helps ensure maximum funding for your grant. Here are some helpful hints to help you prepare for the grant application process. First, you can never start the planning process too early. The application will be available by March 1st. The earlier you start the process, the greater the opportunity for you to enlist the assistance of the grant team. And you don't want to have a last-minute glitch disqualify your grant application. Second, get input from your club members to develop project ideas. You might consider doing your own community assessment. Third, assign application preparation to one person. You can have multiple club members provide input and ideas for wording, but if you have more than one person going online to prepare or edit the application form, it will complicate the process. Fourth, only the lead club should access the application. Other participating clubs may provide financial assistance or labor, but it is the responsibility of the lead club to submit the application and manage the project. Next, a couple of final items to mention. Make sure your project is ready for funding. Projects that are still in the fundraising stage, or where plans and specifications are not complete, are vulnerable to rejection. And last, your application is not complete without a complete and properly executed club MOU, and having your club's foundation goals entered in Rotary Club Central. Next, while the grant application process is not complicated, it is something that clubs do only once a year, and quite often, the person filling out the application has never done it before. Don't be afraid to ask for help. However, understand that our grant team is assisting 30 or more clubs with their grant application, and we ask that you check other resources first. Our grant team members spend hundreds of hours on the grant application process, so we are not very sympathetic when we hear the words, "I don't have time to do this." Next, there is online help that can walk you step by step through the grant application process. This slide shows the help section and navigation bar on the left side of the screen in Club Grants view. Next, the items highlighted in this slide are club documentation, which consists of a PDF with screenshots of each step in the application preparation process. Submitting a club grant application is a 27-minute Vimeo video that provides the same information in a narrative format. We are also working on a frequently asked questions document that will help you identify common problems and provide suggestions on how to fix them. Next, looking for the Rotary Foundation terms and conditions for district grants? This slide shows you where you will find this information on My Rotary. Next, here is the contact information for individuals who can help you through the application process. But please remember that our team is assisting 30+ clubs with their grant applications. Please consult the online and video resources first. If they don't answer your questions, then by all means, reach out to the appropriate member of our team. Next, and now let's talk a little bit about global grants. Next, global grant projects must be for a minimum of $30,000, including club contributions, District 5160 funds and dollars from Rotary's World Fund. Contributions can also come from individual clubs, within or outside of our district, from other districts and from project partners. Next, the district will match club contributions to a global grant project 2-to-1. The Rotary Foundation will match up to 80% of district funds. That means that every dollar in club funds can equal $3.60 for your project. Next, we estimate that there will be $155,000 in new global grant DDF in the 2023-24 Rotary year. This will add to funds that are already in the global grant bucket. Up to $20,000 in district funds can be awarded to the initiating club. $5,000 can be awarded for each additional participating club, to a maximum of $40,000 in total projects funds. All participating clubs must be in District 5160 in order to be eligible for our district match. Next, your club can partner with other clubs outside the district on their global grant projects. In order to get District 5160 Global Grant DDF for projects initiated outside the district, you must contribute 50 cents for every dollar of DDF requested. The district governor and district committees also have the discretion to participate in projects initiated by clubs outside of our district. Next, do you have a relationship with a host club and plans for a global grant project? This slide shows you some of the preliminary steps you should take as you prepare to submit a global grant. Next, submitting a global grant application is a two-step process. The Rotary Foundation will take the primary role in vetting the actual grant application. However, before you begin to fill out the application, you should reserve the District 5160 Global Grant funds. In order to do this, go to the Rotary5160.org website and download the Global Grant Request form. Next, you will find the referenced form in the Foundation section of the District 5160 website. Next, this slide shows where to access information regarding the global grant process. Next, this slide shows where to click to access the request form. Here is what the top of the Global Grant DDF request form looks like. This is a short and easy to follow form, However, please be as detailed as possible in providing information regarding your project. This will minimize questions from the grant review panel and speed up the approval process. Subject to availability of district global grant funds, the grant review panel will either approve or reject your grant request. The primary purposes of this step are to earmark the district's global grant funds and to ensure the prudent use of district grant resources. Next, global grant applications are filed online at rotary.org. This slide tells you how to access the appropriate site. Next, the grant review panel's role is complete after they approve the allocation of global grant DDF. However, there are many experienced 5160 Rotarians who are available to answer questions and provide advice. Thank you for your attention today. I hope it will help make the grant application process easy and successful.
Question
You have about 5 minutes for questions. One that came in earlier, Arnie was asking about, Larry was asking about, isn't one of the reasons for a district international grant for smaller grants? So talking about when you would go for a global grant versus a district grant.
Yes,
I'm not gonna listen to it. I just want to get credit for it.
there, that can be a reason for doing an international project through a district grant. If it's a smaller size project, let's say 5 or 10,000. What we sometimes see is that looking to do a $25,000 or a $28,000 international project with district grant funds, when the lower limit for the Rotary Foundation for a global grant is $30,000. So if it can be a $25,000, $28,000 grant, we're going to ask you, why can't it be a $30,000 grant, and why can't you pursue that through a global grant type of funding? And there may be reasons why even a $25,000 or $28,000 grant can't be done that way. We'll just be asking that question.
Okay, a follow-up to that. So leveraging of DDF to global grants and a clearer path between the two. And I think, Barry, you're just asking whether we can work on something like that.
I'm not sure I understand the.
I think I understand, and it's for something for after the training. So we've got time for probably one more question if someone wants to type another question into chat. Otherwise, I will move forward and ask Mark Roberts to come back on.
Arnie, thanks so much. It seems like a lot of the gamers in Orland are up early this morning and hogging bandwidth. So we're sorry that was causing a problem for you and the internet. But great presentation, really great information. And again, I encourage folks, if you have questions, reach out to Arnie. He is incredibly helpful, as are all the members of the grant review panel. They are an incredibly dedicated group of Rotarians who really take this whole process very, very seriously and want to help you in every way that they can so that your club can qualify and receive a grant.